Welcome to Fearless and Unfiltered. Real talk, real challenges, and real wisdom from two badass BFFs that aren't afraid to say it like it is.
We're here to share stories that inspire, lessons that empower, and a whole lot of laughs along the way.
Get ready to get fearless
Get unfiltered.
and get real with Carrie and Vicki. Hey y'all, welcome back. Today here with Carrie and myself with the Fearless and Unfiltered podcast. We are going to tap into divine connections. I love this topic, right?
Heck yeah.
Have you ever, met somebody or you're in the same place at the same time for the right reason and it just feels electrifying? I'm going to go with that word today. That's truly what divine connections are all about. And I like the ones where sometimes they're quiet, sometimes they're loud, sometimes they're extremely obvious. But at the very end, it's like you feel that divine connection. And wow, I hope that you guys have experienced them. If not, I hope we tune your tuners in today to start noticing them for sure.
Tune your tuners in. I like
Tune
that.
your tuners.
So I'm going to tune in and tell you guys how I met and how I manifested this amazing woman here you see in front of me.
I think actually she had a imaginary friend, like when you're little girls or boys and you have imaginary friends because you don't have sisters or brothers to play with. So her imaginary friend's name was actually Vicki. So
Yeah.
You probably imagined me back when you were like 5.
I 100% did. So Lisa was my main one,
Okay.
and then there was Stacy and Vicki, and I think Stacy and Vicki used to fight because you know how, like when you play Barbie dolls, I even incorporated my imaginary friends in with my Barbie dolls. But yes, this amazing woman, Miss Vicki.
Let's just go with Vicki.
Vicki. Okay.
I was a Smith, then I was a Kramer, then I was an Amormino, and now I'm just going back to Vicki.
All right, Vicki Sue. So, I told you guys I moved from Pennsylvania to the Carolinas.
Yes.
And I flew down here and I was looking at houses in TK, South Carolina. I put an offer on a house.
Yep.
And I went to the local city tavern.
Yes, it's a local restaurant bar here in the area.
And I ordered a salad and a glass of white wine.
Yes.
And I was excited because I just put an offer on a house. And guess who my bartender was?
It was me.
It was Vicki!
Which is even more funny because just recently I had gone to get a divorce and I was looking for jobs because my son finally went to school. And so I was finally going to go back into the workforce. And I was applying for different things. And if you guys have been in the employment world recently, try to do things online, it's very difficult. You don't get anything. And I'm an old school girl, so I like to go in somewhere and say, hi, I would like a job, please. Well, I leave that day because my ex at this time now says, why are you applying for those management positions, Vicki? You're not qualified.
Oh my God,
And so then I was like, I am going out today. I am going to get a job and I will see you later.
Yes.
And I had just been at that job for less than probably a week when I met you.
Okay.
Is that crazy?
It is divine.
Okay, it's divine.
So I have had to remove the word crazy from my vocabulary.
Divine.
Because once you start following your intuition and the system that we like to teach, that you will be met with divinity.
Oh, okay.
Not craziness.
Yeah.
It's divine.
It's divine.
And so this amazing, lovely, beautiful woman who has this warm energy and inviting and funny and is just amazing. She's behind the bar and I'm like, oh my gosh. So we just start talking
Yes.
and I explain that I just put an offer on a house and she's all excited and we just connect. Okay.
Right.
So as I'm sitting there eating my salad, I get a call from my realtor in Pennsylvania. And she says, Carrie, I just got you an offer. I'm emailing it today. It's a full price offer on your house in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Excuse me. So I'm like, oh my God, like, holy shit. How does this happen? Like you put an offer on a house in South Carolina and within the hour,
Yes.
I got a full price offer on my house in Pennsylvania. So I'm like, pour me another glass of wine, girl. So we connect and I was staying at a local hotel that night and I went to the hotel and literally, guys, I passed out.
Took a nap.
Took a nap.
It was probably from the 4 glasses of wine.
Not bottles, glasses. Okay. So took a nap and woke up and was e-signing the documents to purchase my home in South Carolina and sell my home in Pennsylvania the same day. Now, if that's ever happened to any of you, please let us know because I think it's like, holy crap.
That was a divine moment.
Yes.
To get you to where you were wanting to be.
And so then I got her phone number, and the next time I came back down, I had lunch or dinner with you and your son Reese, who was 5 at the time.
Yeah, believe that or not, crazy.
And
I mean,
Reese
divine.
is now 14. So yeah, we've been friends for 11 years. It's pretty amazing. So that is a divine connection. I believe the stars were aligned. I believe I was meant to meet this woman that day. And I'm so happy and grateful because I couldn't decide which restaurant to go to. Because again, I was new in the area. I didn't really know. And I was Googling. And so City Tavern sounded cool. So I went there and lo and behold, I created a brand new life with this amazing woman.
With the best friend. I love it. And it's very true. I think she needed it helped me in the relationship I was in actually get unstuck. It helped me believe in myself again. And I needed that bestie in my life because I had moved areas and didn't really have anyone here that I knew except for my son because I was a stay-at-home mom with him. So
that's amazing.
It was divine, the entire full circle of it. All right, well, I'm gonna share one with you guys because I believe we all have a divine moment at some point in time. So single for probably like 4 or 5 years, and I'm missing the love in my life. I just want someone to like have fun with and do things with, travel with, all that good stuff. So I worked in the service industry as along with another job. But anyway, so I am at a golf club, let's call it that, and that's where I was bartending at. Okay, I would work in the evenings and then on Saturday and Sunday. So I'm just there doing my work, and I do a darn good job of it, might I add. And I walked past this. I'm actually hanging out with one of the ladies who are working with me, and we were talking about where are the good men? Where are all the normal ones?
Yeah.
And so I'm looking around. I'm like, yeah, like that guy. That guy looks pretty normal. Like, what's his issue? Why doesn't he have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
And then about 2 days later, same situation. I'm in the same location. This normal person that I just found, okay, comes out the door at exactly the same time I was going out the door. And I hear him make this comment. It's the single summer of blah.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh, so he's single. Maybe I'll look into him a little bit more. So then a few weeks go by, and he is in the restaurant again. And at this place, if you didn't pay your tab, they stick the tab up on the wall. Okay. And this person I'm talking about, trust me, it would never happen. And it was for like $3.50. And he was like kind of...
His tab was on the wall?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So now I know his name. All right. So then the lady that I'm working with, she gets into a little tiff, let's say, with them. And I just pull the tab off. I pay the $3.50 and I write my phone number on it. And I give it to him and I say, give me a call when you're done with your single summer of blah.
Now, listen, guys. For Vicki to do this is like a milestone in her journey, because before she would have never done something like that. And I remember when you told me that you did this, and you were like, "I can't believe I did this."
Yes, he's never gonna call me. Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?
Yep.
So I then injure myself. My knee goes out, and I don't work for probably like 4 or 5 weeks. And so this person keeps coming in and out of this place looking for
Vicki.
me, and I'm not there. So finally, after 5 or 6 weeks, he finally makes the phone call, and that is how it all started. But I really truly believe that in those quiet moments, like the ones walking in and out of the door, like the loud moments where he's having this issue, and then the ballsy movement of me actually giving my number out, that actually helped solidify the divine connection. And he is still a wonderful part of my life.
He's your boyfriend.
He is forever. So.
And he's cool. And we are going to Costa Rica.
We are going to Costa Rica to celebrate his birthday. It's going to be a really good time. So we want you guys to really like hone in on these. I mean, I know that they may seem like nothing to you, but I think eventually they all add up.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments if you have a particular divine connection that you met.
Yep.
And let's continue the conversation. But I also want to share another divine connection. Okay. So we are using someone else's podcast studio, and I got to give him a shout out, Mr. Mike Burke. Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike, thank you so much. This is recorded in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Sunstoppers location. And Mike Burke is the owner, and he has graciously allowed us to use this podcast studio. But how did I even meet Mike?
How did you meet Mike?
So I follow a group. It's called Charlotte Business Owners.
Okay.
And Mike has his own podcast. It's called Real Talk with Mike Burke.
Okay.
Okay. And so he interviewed one of the Charlotte business owners. His name's Lou Lang. So I watched that podcast episode and I was like, well, shit, I want to be on his podcast. So I sent Mike Burke a message and said, hey, I love your podcast. I'd love to be considered as one of your guests.
Okay.
And so Mike called me and he's like, what's up, girl? And I'm like, hey, what's up? You know? And so we meet literally just through me reaching out and saying, I'd love to be a guest on your podcast. We connect, we schedule. I was a guest on his podcast. It was
That's awesome.
A great interview.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, I love this space. Like, my best friend and I are going to be kicking off a podcast. Do you think we could use your studio? And he's like, yeah, because he travels a lot. He goes back and forth to Texas. And so he's like, yeah, as long as you pay my dude who's our engineer in the back.
Shout out to Micah.
We love you, Micah. But he's like, yeah, you can use it. And so guys, this is the quality of your questions.
Yep.
Is, message somebody, even if you're scared, even if you don't know the outcome, just send that message. You never know what opportunity that might create for you.
Mm-hmm.
And like we say, the quality of your questions delivers the
quality of your results every time. It always comes back over and over again.
So, and I've also, I told you, Vicki, back when I started my business in 2019, I used to fill my calendar.
Yes.
Like I would have a networking event every night. And so my calendar every single day was filled. And then I would say, oh man, I don't feel like going.
But she never canceled on a calendar. That was your commitment to yourself.
Well, I did cancel on my calendar, and then I had to make the commitment to myself that I'm no longer canceling on my calendar. But what I found is every time I didn't feel like going to that networking event and I pushed myself to go anyway, I was met with a divine connection every single time. It's like, oh my gosh, I was meant to be here and I was meant to meet you.
Yes.
Because I didn't feel like going and I pushed myself anyway, I really do believe that the universe or God, whatever you believe in, will meet you with that divine connection
to move you forward in whatever you're doing. So, or that person is needing to meet you to move them forward.
Yeah. So don't cancel on your calendar.
Yep.
Say yes and do it, even if you don't feel like doing it.
Well, because you met some really great clients that way too, when you're talking about divine connection. I mean, Carrie's a life coach and an executive coach and many things, and everyone needs a coach. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
But it's the people that you do meet and that do connect with you, and then the relationship that you form, and then the outcome in some of these clients of yours is just completely amazing. I love to see it.
It fires me up. Like I did a speaking event for the York County Small Business Mixer. And again, I just reached out and said, hey, I want to be considered as a speaker. And they're like, okay. You got to reach out. You got to take that action step. But I did a short 15-minute speech and I allowed people to sign up for a strategy session with me. And I got to tell you, I met two of my clients who have gone through my program who I consider very good friends.
Excellent.
All of my clients become my friends.
Very true.
I believe they were divine connections because literally they were both my ideal clients. And I had a hard time specifying my ideal client because it's like, I can serve anybody, I can work with businesses, I can work with women, whatever it is. But I found these two women and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys embody everything that I want in my ideal client. So I was able to specify that too.
That's awesome. Well, we talk about the divine connections, but if there's people out there that are like, man, I don't have any divine connections. How do I get divine connections? Is there things that people can do to help, I guess, recognize them or encourage them?
Well, I think if you're staying home watching Netflix, eating a bag of chips, you're not going to find your divine connections. You got to get out and you have to put yourself out there or just show up. And I think you'll be met with such a surprise, like such a I just remember another time my fiance and I were at a concert in Asheville, and my feet hurt so bad that I wanted to sit down, and there was a picnic table full of people sitting on the picnic table, and right beside it was like this little stone. Okay, so I sat down on the stone just to rest my feet.
Okay.
This woman sitting on the picnic table, her name was Pam.
Okay.
Somehow, I didn't even know how we started talking, but I told her how I just published a book, and she's like, oh my gosh, so did I. I'm a new author, and she lives like on the West Coast, and so her and I start talking, connecting, we take pictures. I'm like, oh my God, I was supposed to meet you. Like, it's so crazy. I feel like if like, you know how when you travel, let's say you're at a bar waiting for your flight and everybody's on their phone and nobody talks to each other. Like, if you just spark up a conversation with the person next to you, or maybe you're in the grocery store and you spark up a conversation with somebody behind you, you never know where that conversation might go. So I feel like it's putting yourself out there, being present and following your intuition. Like, if you have like a thought of, I should ask this person this question, but then you don't do it, you're missing the opportunity. Because I feel like the universe speaks to us through these like little God whispers or these little nudges or this gut sense that if you follow it, you'll be met with that connection that is divine.
It is divine. God's sending them every single day in your direction to move you a little bit further toward the goal.
Absolutely. Another example, I was networking again, and I was with a business owner, and we're just talking, chatting it up, and somebody walks by. I'm going to say his name's Terry Hudson, and he was with his wife. And Terry walked by, and the person I was with was like, oh, hey, they knew each other. So they start talking.
Okay.
And he introduces me to Terry. And so Terry and I start talking. Terry sends me a friend request on Facebook. We end up connecting for coffee one day. Terry is a local business connector. He's a radio host on R Beats Radio. And since then, he and I have been collaborating for the past 3 years on business activities, on radio shows,
fundraisers. I remember you speaking in front of one of his events that he had. There's like all kinds of things that go on with him.
Yeah. And so it's just random that, you know, I was introduced, and then, you know, he sent a friend request, scheduled coffee. You never know where these connections are going to take you.
Before you accept the friend request, make sure you check out their profile though, and make sure they're not some scam artists.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Vic.
But we don't want to fear you off there, but I think people just do not pay attention to like the subliminal or subtle connections that happen in your day-to-day life and where it could actually lead you.
Yeah, so follow your intuition, trust your gut, and if somebody invites you to an event or, you know, out, go. I think it's when you get uncomfortable is when you're met with that connection and that opportunity.
The growth certainly does happen whenever you step out of your comfort zone. It's like the little seeds that you plant. You've talked about this. You plant seeds, and it could be a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then lo and behold, you get a phone call or you get a message in the mail or something, and it's amazing how those little seeds that you're planting throughout your life actually come back and you can see the growth.
How about Joel's? How did you meet Joel's?
That's another funny story about being vulnerable.
Okay.
So Carrie said I had this aha moment. I've got to be vulnerable. So I might have to change the names of the story in this story to protect the innocent. But my ex, so Mr. Kramer.
Okay.
We lived at Lake of the Ozarks, and I was a mom of 3 boys, and so I worked during the day. So my time at night was usually my time at night with the kids. I'd wake up and we would switch off because he worked in the evenings. So Kramer and a friend were at a bar chatting, okay, and then they meet Jules, okay, but I've already met Jules in another segment over here, just like a quick passing. Okay. So then she ends up figuring out who this one is, John Kramer, and literally tells him to get his butt home, get out of the bar, your wife's at home with your kids.
I can hear her.
So anyway, I end up meeting her again, and she's like, hey, I ran into your husband, and now I just put the connection together. But then it was like an instant just friendship, because I call her my partner in crime. And she was going through different things in her life, and she needed someone that, had a solid brain. But I also needed her help in maneuvering through what I was going through at the time. Right. So that was a divine connection for sure.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. So Jules is one of her best friends,
yes,
who lives at Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri.
Does mortgages. She's killing it.
She's a badass.
Yeah, she is a badass.
And my fiance and I and Vicky's,
oh, that's right. We went there for my birthday.
Yep, we went to Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri for her birthday, and
yes,
we stayed with Jules and her husband. And
yes,
it's just cool, the connections that you make along the way if you are willing to get uncomfortable.
Let's get uncomfortable. Let's get fearless. Let's get unfiltered, and let's figure it all out together.
And show up. Show up. So you guys, let us know, who is one person that changed your life, and how did you meet them? Is it a divine connection? They changed my life. Mm-hmm. Or what's a bold step that you have been resisting that could possibly open the door to make that next connection?
Yeah, tap that in there, type it in there. We want to read all about it. And we go shout outs to all the people that have made the divine connections, and those that connected and made your life even better. So I love it. Divine connections aren't luck, Carrie, are they?
No, it's not luck. It's universal alignment.
I love it.
And the universal alignment actually requires you to take that action.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
So stop watching Netflix and eating that bag of Lay's potato chips, man. I'm just kidding.
Turn off the Netflix and go out and do something fun for yourself.
I'm trying to think, even if your kids play sports, okay, this is another area where you can meet new people,
mm-hmm,
and some people might show up in your life. I remember when my son was playing baseball, and I'm just talking with some of the moms, and you start to spark this connection with somebody, and you
mm-hmm,
just never know where that relationship will take you.
No, and actually it's proven that if you have friends in your later life, it helps you stay alive longer, because the social interaction of it all is actually very positive for your health. So I think it is true. You shouldn't just be the quiet person sitting there. You should actually take the action and make a conversation with somebody. It's good for you.
Soulmates too. You can find your soulmate that way.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of you have. Just kidding. So, a divine connection. Get out there and do it. Get out there and find them.
When the stars align, you move. Or the stars might not align until you move. So maybe you've been waiting to move to a new city, or start a new job, or attend a networking event. Do it scared, do it anyway, do it afraid, be fearless, get unfiltered, and get out there, because without that action, you're not going to be met with the universal alignment that could be waiting for you.
And it is waiting for you. You just got to tap into it. That's for sure.
All right. So, Vicki, anything else you want to talk about here?
How to tune into it.
Tune into your tuner, you guys.
I love it. Call to action. So, yeah, I think, I just think we want people to know that this is a way that moves your life forward, and it is something that exists. It's real, and you really have to feed into understanding those connections to move forward, whether it's for you or for that person that you're connecting with. I think that's important too.
100%. It's not always in it for you. Sometimes
that person needs you.
Yeah, and it's called the law of circulation. Just like you have to put wood on a fire to get heat, mm-hmm, sometimes you have to give in order to receive.
Right. Absolutely.
But you don't want to give with the expectation. Thank you.
This is why we're together.
Of receiving. You want to give because that is your heartfelt thing to do. But just know that when you give, a lot of times you will receive something, if not greater than what you gave.
Very true. All right, this is Fearless and Unfiltered in another episode for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, share it with a friend, give us some comments in there, and we will see you soon.
We'll see you on the other side. Thanks for hanging out with us on Fearless and Unfiltered. If you laughed, learned, or loved it, smash that subscribe button, share this episode with a friend, and be sure to join us for the next real, raw, and fearless conversation.
Remember, life's too short to play small, so stay fearless, stay unfiltered, and keep showing up with your badass self.